You're watching Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. The NFL Draft is quickly approaching, and on today's show, we're going to let you hear from one ESPN NFL insider who gave some pretty interesting insights on not one, but two potential first-round draft targets for the Seahawks. We'll tell you who those individuals are, break them down for you coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do that, folks, it is draft season, and I have not done my first mock draft yet. And what I've been told by the bosses, if we get 50 subs off of this video, then I can bring you my first mock draft of the year. Full-on, 7-round mock draft, but we have to get 50 subs off today's video. So if you want that first mock draft, subscribe now. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV for continuing off-season coverage here on the channel. We got you covered. Matt Miller of ESPN is linking Seattle to not one, but two different tight end prospects that the Seahawks could take potentially in the first round with the 18th overall pick. Miller pointed to Tyler Warren as well as Colston Loveland as slam dunk picks for Seattle with that 18th overall selection. Miller said that Warren and Loveland both are going to be stars in the National Football League at the tight end position. Pretty high praise coming from Matt Miller there when it comes to these two individuals. So let's tell you about Warren and Loveland both. Let's start with Warren, what Miller had to say here. He's amazing. He had a touchdown rushing, receiving, and passing. I mean, he does it all. He's 6'6", 225, but he moves like he's 6'3". He moves like a much smaller player. He's a top 10 player in the draft for me. I love me some Tyler Warren. I've been very impressed with what I've seen from Tyler Warren. He was awesome in the college football playoffs. In particular, I think about that Boise State game where he really just dominated in about every way possible. He's a good route runner. He's a good pass catcher. He's a good blocker. This guy does it all. Reminds me a lot of Brock Bowers in that sense when he was coming out of Georgia. And we saw Bowers have a tremendous season this year with the Las Vegas Raiders, with the best rookie tight end season we've ever seen. And not to mention, he had who throwed him the football? Aiden O'Connell, for crying out loud, and he still had a great year. So to me, if he is anything similar to Brock, I think that'd be great for Seattle potentially to pick up. Now more on Colston Loveland. Here is what Miller had to say. I watched him at Michigan's Pro Day last year when the 2024 first-round pick J.J. McCarthy was thrown to him, and he's special. He could be like a Trey McBride-type player in the NFL. He can do it all. He's so talented, and he's a beast. This is somebody that is a complete tight end in college football. Really just does all the little things well, takes that extra step, and I've been very impressed with what he can do in that Michigan offense. And you think back to last year when Michigan won the national championship game, it's hard to imagine that Michigan could have gotten the job done without Colston Loveland involved. He was that much of an impact player and a good safety net for J.J. McCarthy. I know a lot of people point to when it comes to J.J. McCarthy that, hey, he didn't really stretch the football down the field too often and that they weren't aggressive in their passing attack. But he didn't really need to be, with as good as the offensive line was, with how dynamic the run game was, and then also having guys like Colston Loveland to throw to and dominate in the middle of the field. I thought J.J. McCarthy did what was asked of him and got the most out of him at that position. And Loveland got a little banged up this year, but still had a very good season in his final year with the Michigan Wolverines. Pick one to draft. Would you rather have Tyler Warren or would you rather have Colston Loveland? Type TW for Tyler Warren. Type CL for Colston Loveland. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know which one you would rather have. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time's got you covered, including tickets to see the Seattle Kraken. Here's how it works. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat. See if you like that seat or not. And then you're checking out on Game Time with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. And with Game Time, what I love is you can decide at the last minute, you know what, I want to go to this Kraken game, or I want to go to another event in Seattle, wherever it may be, and the prices go down the closer it gets to that event starting. They have some great features, whether it's the customize your seat option, whether it's the seat views. They also have their super deals. If you see a super deal, these are amazing deals, folks. You won't want to pass up on it. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Game Time, proud partner of Chat Sports. Glad to have him on board here on today's show. So, when you look across the National Football League, of the top teams in the NFL, what do a lot of them have in common? It's the tight end position. The thing that I point to, I go back and I think about last year of the final four teams that were remaining in the playoffs last year. You had the Chiefs, the Lions, the 49ers, and the Ravens. And what did they all have in common? It wasn't an elite quarterback. I don't think Jared Goff and Brock Purdy are elite quarterbacks. It wasn't elite defenses. The Lions last year certainly did not have an elite defense. They all had elite tight ends. Every single one of them had elite tight ends. If you are going to compete in the National Football League at a high level in today's game, you have to have an elite tight end, and Seattle doesn't have that right now. Noah Fant, he's not bad, but he's not great either. A.J. Barner isn't going to be anything more than a number 2 tight end in this league, in all honesty. And for every one of you that are out there saying, well, Seattle needs help on the offensive line. Last time I checked, tight end positions on the offensive line, that it helps in both the receiving game and the blocking game. This could do wonders for Seattle if they go the tight end route. Let's tell you more about Tyler Warren first off. The John Mackey Award winner, the Big Ten's Tight End of the Year selection, a first-team All-American, a first-team All-Big Ten selection there with Penn State. He was a difference maker. I loved what he did in Andy Kolenicki's offense this past year with Drew Aller and company. That Penn State offense took dramatic steps forward compared to what they've been in the past, in large part due to what Tyler Warren did with this Penn State offense. I was very impressed with the numbers that he put up, with how well he performed throughout this season. He was just unstoppable time and time again. Tyler Warren really impressed me with the season that he had, getting it done for this Penn State offense time and time again. I was very impressed, and I have no reason to think that he wouldn't do the same at the NFL level. Meanwhile, with Colston Loveland, played for Michigan from 2022 to 2024, and he was a second-team All-American selection this season. He was a first-team All-Big Ten selection last year, second-team All-Big Ten this year. And the only reason why he was second-team All-Big Ten this year and second-team All-American this past season was because of the other guy, because of Tyler Warren. These were the two best tight ends in college football as of late here. And you look at the numbers, what Colston Loveland did. 56 catches, 582 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and that's with missing some time, with not always being healthy this past season. This was considered a down year for him, and yet he still had a strong campaign as far as that goes, with what he was able to do on that front. I was very pleased with his performance, and I thought he did a really good job as far as that goes. With his campaign. I was impressed with both these guys. And I'll be honest, I would be happy with either one of them, whether it's Loveland or Warren. Personally, I like Warren a little more than I do Loveland. But if you're Seattle, I think you would be in a good spot with either one of the two if you were to select them in the first round as far as that goes. Let's ask you the controversial question. Should Seattle draft a tight end in the first round? They've done a terrible job, historically speaking, when it comes to using the tight end position and getting the most out of it, even when they've had good tight ends. Are you opposed to the idea of bringing in a tight end? Weigh in, let us know. Type Y for yes, in for no, if Seattle should draft a tight end in the first round or not. Appreciate y'all joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Subscribe now for free. 50 subs on today's video. And, folks, we will bring you our first mock draft of the year. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time.